Alright, wood finishers. So this is where we left off for the water-based finish, and I'm really happy with the sheen. I can, when I sight down like so, I can kind of catch where some of the scratches are coming, so I want to get rid of those. Polyurethane, it's a bit duller, and that's okay, but you don't see as much in the way of scratches, which is totally impossible to do on camera, I realize. But anyway, so I would probably be okay to leave the polyurethane where it's at. The water base is really the one that I want to spend some time on, trying to buff out those scratches as much as possible. So in this process, there are a couple things that can be done, but in essence, I need to make a compound of really fine abrasive in order to do this. And a lot of people use one of two stones. One is either a limestone or a lava combination, pumice or rotten stone. I think pumice is the lava, rotten stone is the limestone. Anyway, so really fine particles. I don't know that one is better than the other, and I certainly don't know that you need to use both, especially at this point. I think people try to justify the need for doing both, but it's neither here nor there. If I use those, I need to use a lubricant here. At this point, I think mineral oil is a better option, and the reasons for that is I've already seen that all the scratches are out. Now I'm just kind of looking at that fine tuning, and a little bit of oil with that abrasive is really great. There's also commercially available polishing compounds you can buy, mostly auto supply places, and this is for buffing out the finish, and under the category of glaze or polish. This is and they're typically water based. This is a polishing compound here that I've had, and it's basically just a wax mixture. But if I wanted to polish this thing up, I would sprinkle a little of the oil on first, which was easier said than done. So I don't want to have this stuff go all over the place. All right, so oil. Mixing this stuff around, and this is really thick stuff, so you kind of have to give it some suggestion about where you want it to go and how you want it to work. Then the other thing about this is that people can sprinkle this. A lot of people use salt shaker to distribute this. I've also seen people make some type of a pad where they will apply some of the pumice or rotten stone, wrap it around, bind it off here, and kind of tap it around. Any of those are great. In essence, I just save the one there. I have a good saturation of oil, as well as that abrasive in there. I'm sure you can hear that abrasive working in this. I'm trying to make big strokes. Alright, so I've gone all over the surface. I've tried to not round any of these corners as I continue to talk about. I think for me, in looking at this under light, I'm going to continue to do this until I lose some of that shiny spot from the oil. If there's any mass or thickness of that oil, then I know that I have a little bit longer to go or to work with. Alright, so it feels fairly gritty where the stuff is at, which is kind of the whole point. Wiping this stuff off and then getting rid of that. What I want to do next is really clean this stuff off, because it's really kind of gooped up and you don't really know what's happening. No matter how much of this I try to do, it's still on there. So in order to clean this, I want some regular vinegar, white vinegar. Cooking stuff is fine, although it's about 16 times more expensive than if you were to buy this at a box store. But vinegar is slightly more acidic than the oil, and it will cut through this stuff, which is great, but the big benefit is it leaves no residue behind. And so I use this stuff all the time. Right before photo shoots, I usually have vinegar in a little spray bottle and all kinds of paper towels and cloths. Yeah, I need to do a little more cleaning there. But that's the process. See if I can clean this just a touch more. So as I'm cleaning this thing up, hopefully this is helpful. I think there's a lot of twists and turns to these suggestions, and recognition that everybody seems to have a favorite everything. Favorite finish, favorite way to finish that finish. But there really is no one stop shopping for this. All of these things have their purposes and benefits. So we need to be sensitive to the fact that the world is bigger than just one finishing application. Okay, I'm done rambling now. So I can see on the sheen here, you can kind of see the reflection of that mineral oil, and I'm pretty happy with what that stuff looks like catching that light. Seems like it's pretty good, except for I got a little bit of penetration here. Getting rid of the tape, so the before and after. The sheen, I think, is not terribly different. What is different about it is that one's a bit more clear, so the stuff we've been doing has got higher clarity with the reflection, but more important to that is that all of those imperfections have been removed. So there's a couple little spots here, hopefully you can see those. Had we not done the flattening step, then none of this really would have worked. All right, so that's the second to the last phase here. The last phase is that we're going to put one more product on it, which I'm going to turn off the camera. I'll do the same to the polyurethane board, and then I'll show you the last step to really get this stuff to tune up.